Well, it's here. Ice season in the Northland is upon us. If you haven't got ice yet, you probably soon will. And let me tell you, after 3 or 4 weeks of not being able to fish, if you're like me, you're dying to get out there and see if you can catch a few. But one of the key things to remember is even if you're dying to get out there, you don't want to die getting out there. So here are a few tips, your annual early ice safety tip. Okay, so there are a few things before I go and get my rod and reel and my jig box out and bring it out there. There are a few other tools that I like to have. Okay, first one is my life preserver. Okay, that's in the boat all the time. Go ahead and grab that. I have one of the inflatable horse collar style. They're really nice in the winter time because they just don't get in the way and they're light and easy to use. But I tell you, if you were to go through, very nice to have. A lot of the new cold weather gear actually has flotation built in, so if you can go out and get a suit like that, that's also a good way to go. Also, never check early ice without my handy ice picks, right? These things, they look a little odd hanging around your neck, but if you were ever to go through this ice, these guys right here more than likely save your life, because once you're in there, getting back out is next to impossible unless you can get some purchase. And ice picks like this, the ability to snap in the ice and get yourself out, absolutely, this is the key tool, right, for early season ice. Another one a lot of times guys will overlook are a pair of ice cleats. Okay, a lot of times there isn't any snow on early season ice, and it can make going out there very, very treacherous, right? Fall, break a leg, break a hip. When you're old like me, you got to worry about that. So a good pair of ice cleats, and there's a million different kinds out there, and they all do about just the same thing, but a good pair of ice cleats, very important on early season ice. Of course, you need your handy chisel. Okay, old timers like me would call this a spud bar, so we can check our depths. And then the last thing I throw in my pocket is the handy tape measure, so we can check what the depth really is on this ice. All right, let's take a little walk out and see if we can figure this out. Whenever we're headed out for the first time, we don't want to go very far before we start checking depths. Okay, so we're right on the edge here. Go slow and listen for cracks. And then when we get out just a little, we're gonna chop and see if we can find a depth. And there we go, right there. Grab our handy tape measure. That was about 4 inches, just a little under 4 inches. General rule of thumb, anything less than 2 inches, turn around and head back to shore. 2 to 4 inches should be okay for foot traffic if you're careful. When you're built like I am, you want to err towards the fore side. That's a tip, okay? Anything then beyond that, 4 to 8 inches, then you're starting to get into some really good ice. But remember, when it's 4 inches or less, okay, especially early ice, the ice depth thickness can change drastically in just a very short distance. So just because there's 4 inches here, right here, doesn't mean, you know, that it couldn't be 1.5 inches right over here. Underwater springs, maybe a trapped air bubble, something like that, prevented the ice from forming quite as well. And so always, whenever we're out checking early ice, like right now, I will not go very far before I punch another hole and check it again. That's enough. Now, we made it. We carefully worked our way out, checking every 10 or 12 feet or so, and we got to a spot that I know is a fishable spot. So that's it. Now it's time to carefully retrace our steps, go get the jigging rod and the jig box, come back out here and see if we can't get some. Remember, even though you're dying to get out here, don't die getting out here. Take the precautions, take your time, and you'll get out on early ice. And early ice is best.